Hello, welcome to Microworld at Home. And the artists participating this week in our The World, the Flesh and the Devil are Svetlana Ochkovskaya, Sandra Crisp, Simon Ray, as usual, Sean Clark, and another as usual, David Viey. And we've also got audio contributions from Zachary, Aghaizu, Ed Kelly and Julia Schauerman. So welcome to the Microworld at Home. Now, our theme this week then is The World, the Flesh and the Devil, and this is a book that was written by J.D. Burnell in 1929. Burnell explores what might be possible for humankind when the sciences focus their full capacities on key barriers to utilising all resources, to expand human potential even past the point where humans become something else. So, today we're focusing primarily on the world.
Which is the third chapter of a 5-chapter book or something. Very small little book. You can read it in an hour. You can read it twice during this broadcast actually, and it is available for free online. If you go to the Marxist, what's the website? Marxism Today or something.
But I think you'll find that the world is actually chapter 1.
No, because there's an introduction.
Depends on the okay.
And then, world is chapter 1, flesh chapter 2. We were going to do the whole lot of the book in one go, but we decided that they're so juicy, there's so much in them, that we'll do the flesh in a future week. So this week's going to be about the world, which is about leaving the planet. So we're going to have lots of drifty stuff. So I'm going to play some drifty music.
Lovely.
And we're going to watch Mikla's... What do you call this thing? It's called The World, the Flesh and the Devil.
It is actually The World, the Flesh and the Devil, and it's feeding into all the spaces. And then during this, I'm going to be bringing in visuals in the first part from Sandra Crisp.
So Nicola would like me to have a stab at Zach's solo, which I think is Aghaizu. He's some of his musical samples, two of his samples. This breath is one of his samples.
Yeah, apologies, I was having a bit of a pronunciation nightmare.
You've probably never said his solo. So.
Maybe.
Hopefully we get some more music from Zach in future weeks, so we'll be dropping more bits in as we go. I'm just going to fade everything out. And we're going to...
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I've taken some sections from the world. I've rewritten it, not because I can do it any better. No, I've abridged it, let's say, in places and just cut to the chase. Okay, so
butchered it.
No, I haven't. Anyway, at the moment we've got Sandra's work playing on wall 2, which is the middle one, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how to build Banal World, and then we're going to manipulate it. So,
do you want any sound or?
No, I think
okay,
probably it's clearer. So imagine a spherical shell 10 miles in diameter, made of the lightest materials and mostly hollow, working in zero gravity. Its construction would not be an engineering feat of any magnitude. That's because it's in zero gravity. The main source of the material would be the substance of one or more smaller asteroids, moons, rings of Saturn, or other planetary detritus. The initial stages of construction will probably consist of attaching an asteroid of some 100 yards or so diameter to a space vessel, hollowing it out and using the removed material to build the first protective shell. The globe would fulfill all the functions of life support. To support life. It would keep its atmosphere and the greater portion of its life inside, but as all its nourishment comes in the form of energy through its outer surface, it would resemble an enormously complicated single-celled plant. So take that as your inspiration.
Yeah, we've worked with this book many times over the last, even as far back as the early days of Genetic Moo. We did some. Simon's brother, who I was living with Simon, and his brother used to come down from Preston, and he bought the book, introduced us to it. Ever since we've been making little films and visuals, and we're going to talk a little bit. That's good, I like that. How do you get that circle on it there?
It's a mask.
Is it hers or yours?
No, I put it on.
Very good.
Making my world.
Very good. So yeah, we're going to talk about what's new this week. Is that right, Nicola?
Yeah.
Okay, so the main thing that is new in terms of hardware is that Nicola's introduced this mechanical physical piece that we call the World of Flesh and the Devil. So it's basically a jam jar with a bunch of slime and liquids inside, loads of little figures, and you whack a webcam on it really close. Can we get an...
Yeah, I'm just taking the invert off. Can you kill your zooids?
Just hide them on press Z to hide the... Just get... I don't want to kill them, I just want to hide them. So it's a very basic bit of it's a motor, disco motor with a jam jar attached, and
very low res image.
And we've used it for various performance things over the years, or events. We've never managed to work out how to make it robust enough to sit in a gallery space for a long months, and then you have to get the people running the gallery to change the liquids.
So this is it here. So
can you get a close up on that?
Well, the problem is they're all low res cameras, really. I'll put a photograph of it online, but it's basically a jam jar, and it's attached to a mirror ball motor.
Which one is that? You can just zoom in on that.
I know, that's what I was trying to do.
Which one is it though?
That camera there.
This one?
Yes. And it's already on it.
No, I'm confused. I don't want to zoom in the camera, you can't. I want to zoom in on the video.
Yeah.
So that, okay, it doesn't read very well anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a mechanical object. Usually we're digital artists, we rarely make physical things. We love making physical things, and we just never really worked out how to join them into a show. So this is the news we've got. And actually you can't see it anywhere on the wall at the minute because Nicolas got Sandra's video up. So, but the thing that's got all the human figures floating around is the World Flesh and Devil. So that's the main technical new thing this week. In terms of software, there are lots of little bits and improvements. We will introduce them as we go along. I feel like we're talking too much. Should do something.
Let's have some music.
Okay, this is will this work? It's a dub machine. I guess I press play there.
Okay, so and we're going to start building moments.
This dub machine is super quiet, so I'm going to turn the volume up there. It's one of my little generative toy sound makers. This one is Nicola loves glitch dub, so this one is trying to attempt at getting something like that. I've killed that off. I didn't like it. It's horrible. It sounded better when I was doing it. You can't just leave it on its own. It goes off into a horrible muddy mess, but it's a start of something, I suppose. Instead, what shall I put on, Nicola?
You got some WFD music?
Yeah. So we did a radio play. We tried to do a radio play called WFD years back, and there is some sound from that. I don't think like it. I'm going to put a sea shanty on. See what that sounds like. Microphone's still on. Turn that on. Right, we're back.
I can see I'm covering up mine with the lines from the dots. And maybe you can get some dots on that one.
On that one, number 3.
Yeah.
It's quite dotty already. I'll get them drifting left to right. So every week we have dots. They're like built into the program. Size, speed, free. I think we added a donut effect to the dots this week. That is, if they can't escape the box, basically. I'll take it off. Okay, Nicola, you're going to read something else from WFT?
Yeah, so it's just telling you a little bit about how it's made. So the outer shell would be hard, transparent and thin, and its chief function would be to present the escape of gases from the interior, to preserve the rigidity of the structure, and to allow the free access of radiant energy. And immediately below this, there would be the apparatus for utilising the energy, and this could be vessels carrying chlorophyll-like fluid, or maybe an electrical device for the absorption of radiant energy. And if it was the electrical device, then the globe would have vast membranous wings which would increase its area of utilisation and sunlight. And Simon Ray has sent in a film to us, which I'm going to bring in here because it's got some nature in it, and I thought, well, you know, actually thinking about whether the globe's, you know, producing chlorophyll or whatever, it's a good chance to bring some plants in. And then there's a beautiful spider's web in it as well.
The thrust of Burnell's book is that there is not enough space on the Earth or resources to keep everyone alive. So humans will eventually evolve technologically and biologically to be able to live in outer space. And to do this, they have to go and get a meteor, is it? And
Yeah,
pull
no,
it
an
out.
asteroid. An asteroid.
Live inside an asteroid. Like that's easy. So there'll be more people living off the Earth than there are on the Earth. Some people will get left behind. Not the scientist, he's quite keen to get all them off the planet. He leaves behind, what does he call them? The reactionaries, the ones who prefer Earth as it is. Put it on to.
Just got that right. Okay, so we can imagine this as being the membranous net layer of the world. So we're going to have some music.
I've just got some sort of very ambient background things. That dub was a disaster. That needs a lot of work. Can I get the zeroids back, please, Nicola?
Yeah, I was only just trying to show the setup.
Oh, he killed them all. Alright, start again. Oops. The thing about the zooids, because they've got lots of, they join together, which a bit relates to the, is it the flesh chapter? Or, yeah. Oh, I've got a nice blob up there.
So
The cells
mine
look
are
good.
really twitchy.
What's twitching?
My zooids. I did something.
Yeah, change the.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. What happened
Wiggle.
was it was very stable.
Well, have you got video on?
Yeah, it's just anyway.
Drop, if you don't want it to wiggle, just wiggle off.
Julia says the screen's freezing a little bit every so often, so maybe a little bit of interference.
Well,
Not necessarily our end, it's just, I know in Sheffield that...
I'm going to turn this off. Can I get rid of this laptop? I don't like this laptop being on.
Okay. Are there any comments there?
Hello, maybe Sean Clark's in the house. Hi, Sean. I'll do your thing in a bit. I really don't want this one being on at all. It's just getting around.
That's said.
Yeah, why is it so flicky? Good question. There's a white zooid on screen 1. Oh, by the way, the quote's taken from the Banal book. They're his suggestions as how to improve the human body for interplanetary space travel. I'll tell you why they're so flicky. They're seeking colours on the backgrounds, and you've got the inverse mode on. The inverse mode, all the different pixels next to each other are all different colours, they'll squash together. So it'll be having very different effects. So if you took the inverse off, I guess they might settle down a bit. Like mine, actually no, mine are on the inverse as well, but they're behaving. Not sure anything.
I'll tell you what it was. I was creating them and they were nice and, you know...
Cake curls all if you want to go
And
rid of
then
them.
I went back in and added extra nodes on one that was already in the thread,
Oh, right,
so that
not
sort of
sure.
set it off, so I might
They
just...
are a little bit complicated.
Okay, so what What other things should we add into?
Well, I think I'm going to talk about some of the new. I might talk about zooids. We're on mic at the moment, right? So, right, zooids are basically spring node systems. What are you saying?
Music's on. If you want.
Turn the music down. Okay. So, if I simplify this screen here, this is number 3. Yeah, we had the zooids in before, a few weeks back, but now they're back. New, improved zooids. So if I get rid of the video, and I get rid of, I could clear the note layer, I suppose. If I press K, does it kill the zooids as well? That'd be a disaster, wouldn't it? Doesn't matter. I'll get rid of the dots. They're a bit confusing. Okay, so the zooids are the lines that you can see flicking around. You can create more complicated zooids if you want to. I'm doing a red one, it's not going to be very visible. Send, I make zooid mode, zooids, colour. This is a white one. I make a hexagonal zooid, which gets added into the main wall. So the zooids sort of vaguely preserve their shape. Looks like there's some shearing issues, but that doesn't matter. So each zooid is some points and some springs. And they can wiggle, give them a kind of an excitement level. And the new in this one is that there's a factory which produces automatically produces a load more zooids. So I've added loads and loads of white ones. So these white ones will spread out, and when they hit the edge, they will lock onto the edge, and then when another zooid of the same colour goes past, it'll lock onto that, and so forth. And you get these quite complicated structures. And Bernal in the book talks about the future of consciousness, that using electrical signals you'll be able to connect brains together, brain cells. And he says once you've done that, you can leave the body behind, become this ginormous network of consciousness spread across the entire universe. That's for a later chapter. But the zooids, none of them managed to get to the edge yet. One thing that the zooids also do is that they seek the colour that they are. So if I turn seek up, go into notes, and I'll draw some white, make it thicker. I'll draw some white at the top of the screen, top right. So those zooids will be attracted to that, the white ones, and that'll lead them higher to the screen. Actually, you can see up here there's a blue one that's attached. So this blue one on 3 is attached, I'm in zoom mode at the moment, attached to the ceiling here. So another blue one comes past, it will grab onto it. Oh, so look, the white ones have started forming this mesh nuclei. That's cool, isn't it?
Yep.
Kill off that. So look, and some of them have grabbed all the way over there. How they got over there, I do not know. Anyway, so the whites have formed this nice structure which is bending down, behaving. There are springs behind these. Springs, bane of my life, code-wise, they never behave. But we'll leave that running, and hopefully maybe the yellows will join into the things. Okay, so that's the zooids. So we've got geodesic domes. We haven't tried rounding off the edges yet, Nicola, although it did crash before. If you click outside the program, it's not been made safe.
So if I go back, oh no, it's doing background.
So yeah, geodesic domes, bumping stuff on a spaceship Earth. There you go, brilliant. You can make portholes as well through the geodesic domes.
So if I make my background a bit thicker, I'll make them a bit pink.
So while Nicola's doing that, I think Sean is in the house. So Sean has written part of Microworld at Home, which is the MQTT pixel thing system. Number 3, press up 2. So you can generate pixel creatures, that's the wrong number, number 3. Pixel creatures by going to the website that's coming up on the screen. Maybe black, so easier to read, not really. artthings.io/pixel. We have them in every week. They add in, they can draw lines. The termites eat them. Sometimes they play music. We're not focusing so much on those. I think Sean's been busy working in Leicester with his festival. I think that's over now. So in the future weeks we're going to expand this MQTT system so people can design more elaborate creatures, and we'll test run it with Cass, I guess. And
It's a bit of a bonkers setup, that one.
other things that have been put in place this week or added into it is Zoom, more complicated Zoom functionality. So if I zoom in on something, I'll zoom in on that letter P. Oh, it doesn't zoom in on the text. No, it zoomed on the background. So that's a fixed zoom, but you can zoom in on the mouse. I can scroll around. This is all on screen 3, the right side of the screen. But I can I can make it glide, but I can attach it to the pseudo-scorpion. Where is the pseudo-scorpion? Okay, that's the question. It should be in the middle of the screen. There it is, there. The pseudo-scorpion attaches itself to, it's a real creature in nature. In our program it's a tiny little yellow star. But if something drifts past that it likes the look of, say dots. Then it grabs hold of it, gets a free ride, and it keeps going until it finds somewhere it likes or something better to attach to. I mean, it's so visually dense that you won't be able to see, but take my word, that zoom is following the pseudo-scorpion. And the dots are making really interesting patterns. They seem to have settled on a... Claire hasn't put the tide on, so I'm not sure why they're in that particular clumping arrangement, but that is the beauty of Microworld at home. We don't know what it's going to do half the time. The broader idea of this piece is we're doing it every week in lockdown because we haven't got any shows, obviously. We want to test out new pieces of work, new creatures. So the broader idea is that some of these pieces will eventually go into a new piece which will be shown in museums and galleries back when that happens. So yeah, it's a big test bed. I can see Nicola's testing some films, so do you want it on number 2, Nicola?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, so these were, in the early days of Genetic Moo, we were a filmmaking group, about 10 of us. Nicola started the group, we called her the boss. And then Simon and me and Tom, so 10 people. We shared video equipment because it's very expensive. This is back in 2000. Shared video cameras, computer editing suite. And we were managing to edit our films, we're really proud, 320 by 240 pixels.
I know,
which was top end for amateurs in those days. So these little bubbles that you can see on the wall, it's a bit bright, isn't it? If I'm gonna, maybe I'll kill this one off. Let's get the room nice and dark. These were little clips that might make their way into future projects. And I'll put on some noise. At this time, we were doing a lot of circuit bending. Well, some of us were. So, one of the pieces that was made was called UFO. It's kind of a program about half one. It's circuit bending, so the levels are going to be all over the place. So we'll leave this running, we'll add some more effects. I've just turned that off. I'll play a bit more of it later on. Julia probably is setting up her sound in
a few minutes.
Sheffield in a few minutes. We'll just show 1, 2. Where's my head?
Well, you can hardly see it.
Oh, hardly see it.
It's so dark.
That's a shame. So this was the group. She didn't used to do computer stuff, but this is a very early computer program I wrote.
No, you're not there.
Oh, there's a different one, Nicola. I think there's one where I had my head in it as well. Although you've got a different one, a ketchup bottle.
No.
That's my head of a bottle. That's in the way. Anyway, tiny TIM, tiny intelligent machine. Smart goes my character that I did a bunch of work with back in the day. So there's a little treat from 20 years back.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have to uncontrast that one. It's a bit dark.
Nicola's got a containing video program and she has loaded it up with videos. There's about 20 different clips in it. I'm very surprised it's stable and running. So this is a good one. That's what we were making, a mad scientist type film, connecting your body to a computer, as in the book World Flesh and the Devil. Well, not a computer actually, he doesn't mention computers, it was written in the 1930s, but he's into electronic attachments to the body.
Okay, so we're going to be listening from Julia in a minute. So just to say that Bernal was imagining what life would be like inside one of these globes, and apparently there wouldn't be any gravity, so we'd just be floating around, and he reckons there wouldn't be any need for houses or rooms. You might have a cell or two with a thin membrane to give you a bit of privacy on the odd occasion you need it. And because then you'd be floating around, it would actually mean that even if the globe was only 8 miles across, apparently it'd be the equivalent of having 150 miles square of countryside, because you'd be able to use all of the inside of the globe and the space in between. So nice and roomy, really. And apparently we wouldn't be travelling in it, we'd be travelling around the sun primarily, and there'd be plenty of globes, so we could have wireless connection with all of the other globes, so we wouldn't be on our own, and there'd be the occasional ship just travelling backwards and forwards, maybe to swap a few people over, get some resources.
So he doesn't go too much into the mechanics of the fact that everybody's floating in midair in this huge space for the whole of their life for hundreds of thousands of years while the humans are trying to get to another planet. And he does say that it would be hard to have a cup of tea.
He did. I was just going to say, he did talk a little bit about how painful dust would be. They'd have to have a little bit of a solution for dust flying around.
What do they do with dust on a spaceship, Nicola? Do they hoover it up on?
Maybe they've got some sort of opposite to an air conditioner.
Dust is a problem.
Anyway.
I haven't got anything of Julia yet.
Okay.
Alright, let me press connect.
Julia should be running.
Okay.
Is Julia in the house?
I can see some signal. And
so this is Julia performing live in Sheffield. Tim, do you remember what the piece is called?
Was it Synthesis?
Yes, that's right.
So yeah, the other day we were listening to the what's it called? The Voyage, the Golden Record, the one that they sent off into space.
Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan, yeah, that's his idea. So they sent a record with all these different musical clips, which I think is some Creative Commons. I believe Julia's taken some of these and mixed them together.
And I'll be playing Svetlana's songs in this section.
Okay, so Julia, we're just going to leave her to it.
Salvete quicunque est. Bonam erga vos voluntatem habemus, et pacem per astra ferri. Shalom.
Hartelijke groeten aan iedereen. Herzliche Grüße an alle.
Chân thành gửi tới các bạn lời chào thân hữu.
Sayın Türkçe bilen arkadaşlarımız, sabah şeriflerinize hayırlı olsun.
Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka?
धरती के वासियों की ओर से नमस्कार.
Ya khidai khuyyan aur Aghaizu.
Ay buwan. Siya ni dingalala Macau. Isa na kibon. Ria dinalisa.
Des Weltraumausschusses der Vereinten Nationen und Vertreter Österreichs freue ich mich, Ihnen auf diesem Wege unsere Grüße.
I should like to extend the greetings of the government and the people of Canada to the extraterrestrial inhabitants.
As the Secretary General of the United Nations, an organization of 147 member states who represent almost all of the human inhabitants of the planet Earth, I send greetings on behalf of the people of our planet. We step out of our solar system into the universe seeking only peace and friendship, to teach if we are called upon, to be taught if we are fortunate. We know full well that our planet and all its inhabitants are but a small part of this immense universe that surrounds us, and it is with humility and hope that we take this step.
I wish to extend greetings and friendly wishes.
0 inbound started. With Alpha.
Från tid och rum, vår livsnaivitet till andra dimensioners majestät. Där härskar ingen lag av livets sort. Där härskar lagarna för världars värld. Där böljar solarna mognad och kring jordliga solars skär. En rikedom av solar finns där. Var solen ser av världen. Större solar.
This is a new and strange environment at first. This suddenly finding yourself in orbit.
I feel the liftoff. The clock has started. Roger. I have the fireflies. Hola, amigos. Felicitaciones. Amigo y especialmente a mi amigo que duerme. Hey, that's one of the better sets.
Thanks, Julia. That was great.
Amazing.
Very melodic.
Perfect.
I recognise some of the clips as well. Yeah. So I believe Julia's going to phone in a bit and tell us how she did that. But
yeah,
it sounded like some of the stuff from the Voyager CD.
Exactly. Okay, Tim. So we've.
Oh yeah. So we wanted to blue everything out. Can you blue that one?
Yeah.
Do it in the effects. Just a GBR bottom slider. That's it. Nice. So, Mother, we've got an extra projector in the space today. Oh, and I can see the starfish has gone black, so I might talk about that in a bit as well.
Oh, here's Julia.
Oh, here's Julia. So Julia's going to tell us a bit about that piece.
Hi, Julia. Hi. Thanks very much. It sounded amazing, and it's great to work to.
I really enjoyed working with this week's themes. It was great. I was really inspired.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you were mixing into it?
Yes, yeah, of course. So basically, I always seem to end up with 11 tracks that I'm mixing with. What I did was I composed some phrases which were the sounds of spins. So those sounds that were like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. It was a keyboard that had voice sounds on. It's a really old Casio that I had. So I had 5 spheres based on little vocal sounds that I composed, and then I had manipulated sounds. So I took a piece of music that was on a selection of music on the golden records that were sent out on Voyager 1977. I'll mention a little bit more about that in a minute, and stretched the violin sounds because I thought that would be a nice ambient sound. Tim had mentioned that he'd like some ambient music. Other than that, I found a site called Free Sounds, and I downloaded crowd sounds for the inhabitants of the spheres. And I also got air traffic controlled cosmonauts, astronauts, and also Chinese astronauts. I'm not sure what they're called. Sinonauts.
S-I-N-O.
Okay,
that's
so
right,
I got their radio messages, which I was mixing in there. So they were the crew of the spheres, because in the book there's talking about crews and inhabitants, so people with jobs and people who are just relaxing. And then for the sounds of the earth and the greetings and the music, they all came from the golden records. So these were the Voyager Messages, 2 golden plated copper discs that had sounds from around the world that were sent out in 1977. And I sort of made a note of where certain key moments appeared in the greetings, which I thought would be nice to bring up. So I was aware at 6 minutes and 12, for example, on the crew, that it would be nice to bring up the cosmonauts as opposed to the Danish air traffic control, because I thought it was more relevant to space. And then at 6:45, 6:45, I had Canadian ambassador saying hello to the extraterrestrials, so I thought that would be nice to bring that up. I was really delighted to get the is it the Queen of the Night from the opera?
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I had a feeling it was coming up, and I walked up the track, and there it was. So, yes, and so other than that, I've got 3 really old Casio keyboards, and one's got a really nice drone using vibraphone, which I just held down. And then also from the Viey sound site, got different sounds of static, which I thought would be appropriate for signals going out into space.
Brilliant.
So I was a little bit more prepared this week. I actually finished at 1 o'clock, so I was able to relax a little bit before
Marvellous.
it started.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Julia. It's great to work to. Until next week.
What I would say as well is that this time I had my phone propped up, and so the film, I forget the name of the artist, I know you had difficulty saying her name, but when her film came up, it was really nice with the music that I had. I immediately was able to respond to the images, so it was great. I really enjoyed that.
Synchronicity. Lovely. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot. Till next week then, Julia. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Well done.
So, Tim.
What do you call a Chinese person in space, Nicola?
I thought you said a sign-on, but
that's not correct. It is a taikonaut, or a Yuhuan space traveller. Right, we're going to talk about Mother. Mother was it the second piece we ever did, or the third piece we ever did?
It was the fourth.
Starfish was the first. We've been showing that today. Actually, Starfish is
over there.
Can you just point at Starfish? I'll go first. This is Starfish. It's made of human body parts, in particular Nicola's body parts, and then we had an urchin. That must have been the second one, was it? My body parts.
Yeah.
That rarely gets a viewing. And then we had
We had the animalcules and then Mother.
And this creature's a imagined future human evolution.
Yeah.
Pushing the sensual body parts, so related to Bernard, I suppose. But then we had a small one, lots of little bits swimming around, animalcules, and then we had Mother, which was a single, largely encompassing piece, which is I'm standing below, I'm standing in, which we've added into the space this week through another projector over there. So it's just projecting on top. Doesn't actually affect anything. We might think about how to do that future weeks. Mother is made up of loads and loads of viscera, sea life. I love pixels, Nicola. Look at that little maggot thing walking across that thing there. It looks great. It's because it's a chicken wire on that projector. So this is Mother, and it just slowly churns and changes on its own. Not particularly interactive.
It was a contemplative piece. It was interactive when I first designed it, because we were running it as Submit to Mac Gravity show. But then we realised it was more interesting just to watch it churning away, imagining it as the progenitor of all of our creatures.
Yeah.
So I think.
And it was described as a planet, or looking for a microscope, or a bowl of soup, as they even famously called it.
Right, I'm just going to create a little light at the minute, because I just want to crash my program and start it up again.
What's it done? Too many video clips, Nicola?
Yeah, it could be.
Too many video clips.
What happens.
Look at the starfish here. The starfish on this wall has gone into pitch black mode. If it's blue, well, can't quite remember it, but I'll go through them maybe a bit later, or we'll just watch it. It has different behavioural patterns, so it's obviously had enough. It's tucked its legs in, it's sleeping, got in fully black sort of defensive mode. So I can see you've got the World of Flesh and Devil visuals back up, Nicola. So
yeah, so we're going into the last run, and we'll be bringing up video by David Viey and some more by Sandra Chris. And
when are you going to play David's video? Because I've got some sound by him as well.
Yeah, I'll let you. Oh, fine, brilliant. Okay, well that will be towards the end when Civilization kicks in.
Okay, so I'm going to play the rest of that circuit bending track. Here goes. So that was filmed by David, filmed by Sandra Crisp, sound by David, the drum pattern. I don't think he made it. Did he find it? Not sure.
He might have made it.
Zach made
Well, let us
his,
know.
the kind of vocodary vocals and breathing, just mixed it all together. And then it's featuring the amoeba, pink, bopping away, starfish, dots, shorts, MPTs, all sorts. Right, what's next, Nicola?
Oh, I've still got some more films by David. So I've got it's a Super 8 and.
Was that David cooking his dinner?
He's a chef, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a stretch. I used to work in a restaurant with him. We were the pot wash, him and me.
Chef
I got
de
sacked
Chef.
for washing plates incorrectly. Believe it.
Chef de Blanche.
Chef de Blanche, yeah. So he's a chef. He is a chef. Chris
Okay,
is.
so I've got two more films.
Well, maybe just let's. What are we going to do? Clear everything away. Just watch a film. What about that? I could put some music on by Ed. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let's put Ed Kelly. So we bumped into Ed Kelly this week in the laundry. We had a meeting.
And he's going to be giving us some live, not live.
He's working on some live
composing,
music.
yeah.
That's it. He's working with someone in Norfolk with a massive drum setup. That guy who played last year in Margate at the Digital Festival. Simon Kendrick or something. Yeah, so they're trying to work out how to collaborate with audio live across the internet. So get to Ed's site, put some sound on by him. Ed said he liked the show. He said it was it's a magazine sort of show, a bit like Loose Women, but with computers. That's a compliment. So we're going to play one of his pieces. I'm going to have to guess Block Groove. Let's try that.
And let's try and inspire a sense of leaving Earth.
Okay, that was one by Ed Kelly. It wasn't very ambient, spacey, but it was interesting enough. We've set off a whole load of zooids, the little lines. Hopefully they'll be joining together in the last quarter of an hour, whatever we've got. Going to play a piece by Julia in a second, but before that, Nicola's going to...
Yeah, so I was just going to say that next week our theme is Midsummer, and we'll be joining the virtual art fair CADAF Online. That's the Contemporary and Digital Art Fair, and we'll have some information on the front end of our website from Monday. So thanks very much to Svetlana Ochkovskaya, Sandra Crisp, Simon Ray, Sean Clark, David Viey, Zachary Aghaizu, Ed Kelly.
Eddie Kelly? He just called him Nicky, so got him back. Eddie.
And Julia Schauerman. Thank you very much.
We haven't finished yet.
Yeah, do you have anything to say about the theme Midsummer?
Yeah, we're going to... It is Midsummer, or it was Midsummer yesterday?
It's today.
Today.
Or tomorrow.
The brightest week of the year.
Day.
And from our perspective as digital artists projecting in dark spaces, it's the most hopeless time of the year. But people celebrate it all around the world. We're going to take... Nicola's been watching a lot of Aghaizu films. Japanese director, very formalist. Domesticated films, fascinating films. And we'll be taking that as a source of inspiration. So if you want to send anything in on Aghaizu, Midsummer, he names his films late spring, early summer, so forth. So we don't want Midsummer. And then the week after we'll possibly come back to the world of Flesh and the Devil, concentrate on flesh, maybe. Get some of the early creatures up, sea squirts, the gruesome ones that we don't show so much.
So
sexual.
If any of that strikes a chord, then please consider collaborating.
So I'm going to play a piece by Julia, which is definitely drifty. This is called Take Flight. I think she composed this a month or so ago.
Yeah, in autumn.
And is it playing?
So let's try and take flight.
I'm going to nudge it forward. Oh, I see what I've done. So we're just fading out Julia's piece. We'll play it.
So you just want to imagine floating in space. Hopefully we've given you a desire to leave Earth's gravity.
One of the creatures in these programs is the humans, which are the white figures on the middle screen. This week they have been appropriately socially distanced with the bubbles, which pushes everyone apart, and they can float off into space as there's a storm of meteors falling through the sky. So we'll leave you with that thought.
And turn the music up again.
Turn the music up again.
See you next week.